Hello my friends, yesterday I have uploaded a station trading guide. It was 20 minutes long. Of course I couldn't cover every part of station trading in details in 20 minutes, otherwise the video would get too boring. So this is a video which is supposed to just expand on what I've been saying already, show you some examples, show you what I trade, explain you how to mathematically choose the products with examples from the game, from database which I use from the game. So let's have a look at that. First of all, what the station trading is about. It's providing market liquidity using your own capital. What it means is that if there were no people doing station trading, the difference between the price within the station of people who want to buy the item and who want to sell the item would be dramatical. And logically, anyone who is interested to buy an item, he wouldn't want to spend double the price on that item. He will start to do so-called station trading, just buying this item for himself. Instead, when we have got station traders, it means that our prices between the buy and sell are actually diminishing within the station. And because majority of trading occurs in JITA, whenever there is a rich guy or a guy in a hurry comes to buy a product, instead of spending days probably trying to buy this item, he just hits the buy order and he buys the item for the whatever price there is in the market. Usually he pays the premium for that, 10-15%, but this way he doesn't need to spend the time on trading. It's boring, he doesn't like it, or he wants to buy only one item. And as opposed to station traders who are actually doing it for 100 items, he wouldn't be so much more of a benefit doing that for himself. So normally, majority of people actually buy items straight away from the sell orders available in the market. Alright, where do those sell orders come from? Station traders buy same item within the same station at a lower price, but higher than other players do, in order for later sell it for the lower price than other people sell. That's the principle of station trading. And usually there is a price difference between for how much you buy an item and for how much you sell the item for, and that's logical to start with due to the fact that there are taxes in game. Other than that, market is not perfectly liquid. So station traders use capital, they add this kind of opportunity to diminish the gap between the buy and sell, but not so much, because usually station traders don't add up like percentage wise. They add a bit of ISK on top of the orders and they decrease a bit of the ISK on the sell orders. So that's why they kind of moving the prices, but not so much really. So that's the principle of the station trading. Now let's have a look at the products. I have been trading those products about 1 month ago. I haven't been playing game for a month, but I'm pretty confident that those products are still somehow interesting for us to have a look at. Obviously, products tend to fluctuate in pricing and sometimes they are better or worse to be selling them, but station trading generally is focused on quick buy and quick sell. You're better off making a little bit less of profits, but to rotate your money faster. That's the economical aspect to that gaming activity. Let's have a look at the products in particular. Advanced mass production. As you can see, I have filtered the range of jumps to the station. So I'm in JITA. As you can see, I'm using a margin tool from Avernus. There are other margin tools in game, and if you're a good mathematician, you don't need margin tool for that. But it allows you for quick, update of orders, for quick margin calculation. So as of now, in settings, you have got your taxes set up. For example, my broker fee is set to 2.5 and my sale tax is set to 1%. It means that if I start to trade this product right now, I will, theoretically speaking, buy these items now at 19,100,000 and 15 ISK and sell for 21,991,406 ISK, it means that I would actually make a loss because I'll pay taxes on top of that. So this item is no longer profitable and it's not something I would trade. Alright, next one is Amar Titan. And you see that it's currently buying for 21 million and selling for 6.5 billion. This item actually something I was considering to trade but didn't trade. As you can see, margin is 18%. Of course, you can figure it out that it's not the real margin. It's because I don't trade in JIT necessarily. I normally trade from perimeter, and it has slightly different settings, but we won't go in these details just yet. Simply speaking, if I were to buy this item for 21 million something and sell for 6.5 billions, I would make lots of profits. But clearly and logically, that's not something we will be able to buy an item for, because no one is going to sell an item worth of 5 billions for 20 millions, even if you want to realize a quick cash. That's too much of a loss. So we are skipping this item. Antipharmacon Yokira. I have no idea what the item is, but it's currently giving me a margin of 2.9%. And simply speaking, I can earn in one item, by trading just one item, I can earn about 2 millions if I buy and sell it, plus I will have to decrease the taxes for that, but I will make some profit if I trade this item. Let's have a look anyways if it's interesting for us to trade or not. Margin suggests that it's not so profitable, but if I manage to have 100 billions and for some reason this market is so huge that I'll be able to buy worth of 100 billions of this item right now and sell for 103 billions, I will make 3 billions just like that. In this case, we can consider that this margin is a good margin, but still, let's have a look at the product, because I was giving a two theoretical example. We see that on average, it's about 100 items traded. And roughly speaking, we don't know from these statistics if those are 100 items bought or 100 items sold. So I wouldn't worry too much about whether they are buying or selling. We need to get an idea of how large the market is. And by just looking at it, 100 items, average price of 23 millions, which actually, in a bit just more advanced maths, suggests that items are mostly selling right now if the average price is close to the selling price, but that's a detail. Overall, if I take 100 items and I multiply it by 23 millions, I would just get 2.3 billions volume of the market. It's some kind of idea whether your capital fits for the product. And none of the person, at least real life people who actually update their orders manually, is not interested in trading like hundreds of items. Usually you trade 20, 30, just to make sure you can update them, right? Therefore, by the way, I kind of automated my trading, and you can watch those method how I did that in the main guide if you are interested in that. But I'm not using bot, no. But anyways, 2.3 billions. Let's have a look at my character. Currently my total net worth is 51 billion ISK. As I said, I haven't been playing this game for about a month. So if I were to start trading right now, I wouldn't want to trade this product. Because first of all, 2.3 billions is not a potential turnover I can make. Because if we split, theoretically, buy and sell orders by half, it's only says that I will be able, if I buy all the items and all of the players don't ever update their orders, I would only buy 1.15 billions worth of this good, and then I would sell for roughly the same amount. And if the margin is 3%, it means that I will likely make just several millions. And this is not definitely, okay, tens of millions maybe. But given my net worth, I'm not interested in tens of millions, theoretical, if I buy the whole market per day. Tens of millions per day, in theoretical example, it's not even something we are interested in. So no, this item is not something what we are interested in trading. I would potentially trade this item if the margin here was about 30%. In this case, I would say, okay, I can do theoretical 300 millions, roughly, and then I would probably be able to buy 30% of the market per day, which gives us 100 millions. And given that my expectations of earning per day is about 3 billions, that's roughly how I estimate it, I would need about 30 products of similar type to make my expected revenue of 3 billions per day. So I just take my 300 millions, I multiply it by a factor of how much of a volume of a market I can cover, I estimate 100 millions, and then I divide 3 billions of my expected profit which I want, by the profit which this product suggests me by 100 millions. I would get that I need 30 items of this type to trade. So yes, if the margin was 30%, 10 times more, then I would be interested to trade this item. Let's have a look further on. Athanor is zero margin, not something I'm interested in. This item, not interested either. Actually, this item, if I was just trading in JITA, so again, I mentioned that my settings actually account for the fact that I trade from perimeter. It's important to understand that even if you're trading in JITA, you have to account for players trading from perimeter, because those are usually large traders. But let's say currently that this item is having highest order of 211 millions and lower sale of 241 millions, which is a 30 million profit. In this case, I would probably want to trade this item. Why? Because I know that this item usually trades 40 items per day. Maybe I would say the average is closer to 50 actually. With 50 items per day and average price of, for the sake of the maths, 200 millions, then the daily volume of the market is 10 billions. It's not the perfect item to trade right now, but in theoretical example where this is 211 millions for buying and 241 millions for selling, 30 millions profit per item, and if I manage to buy and sell 10 items a day, I would be making 300 millions, and my capital allows me to do that because my capital is 50 billions. I'm making theoretical 300 millions. Well, I will need, just for this item, if I want to buy 10 items, I will need just about 2 to 3 billions, roughly 2.5 billions, to rotate in this market. I can afford with my capital of 50 billions about what, 20 similar products. So 20 similar products, because I need to sort of account for the fact that I need to have this capital to trade this market, because I update orders only once per day. 50 billions, if I need 2.5 billions per market to make profits, it means I can make 20 trades of similar products. If I make 20 trades of similar products with theoretical profit of 300 millions, I would probably make about 6 billions, which is a great number, and this is something I would aim for. So yes, this item for JITA only traders, if you expect to buy and sell in JITA only, which actually happens as well, not everyone is buying and selling items through perimeter, so you sort of can compete from JITA with them, quite not easily, but you definitely can. In this case, this is a very good item. I would exceed my expectations on profit. I will account for the fact that my capital allows me to trade it. It also gives good margin, and overall, it's a very attractive product to trade. But I see that I have got high competition from perimeter. And let's have a look exactly where this competition is coming from. So I see that in perimeter, someone is buying this item for 211, and so on. Price on top is the highest. So actually JITA is buying item at the highest price. And if I were to buy this item right now and they set a price for 212 millions, then when someone sells an item, this would become my item. I believe the competition is coming from selling. As you can see, Jita is selling for 241 millions, but Perimeter is selling for 226 millions. And that's an interesting fact, because if someone comes to Jita and he's a rich player who doesn't want to go into trading and who hates my guides, it means that he will buy an item for 241 million from Jita. Therefore, if you can buy this item right now for 211 millions, and you definitely can sell this item for 240 millions, it's a good item to trade. Account for the fact that you will need to pay taxes on that, but even with 6 billions, you would probably pay $500 million in taxes. So yes, we are speaking about theoretical numbers, account for other factors, but I think if I was trading 20 items of this type per day, I would be making my 3 billions. That's an item I would trade if I were trading in Jita. Let's move on. I'm going to just quickly click through other items I have and just give you some notes whether I'm going to trade this item right now or not. And then we are going to actually look at the database of the game. So I will tell you how to find those items. Those items were profitable back in time. I don't know how profitable they are, all of them now, but back in time, all of those items I found in database by using particular algorithms. And by the way, my main guide, which was uploaded a day ago, is actually explaining that I'm explaining there, fair enough, that I have created a website which is going to repeat this algorithm for you. Once you input your capital, margin trading skill, and number of orders you're interested in trading, it will actually make the maths for you. So yeah, I hope it's going to be useful for newer players who are not interested in going into databases and just finding those items themselves. Alright, let's click through. 5% not so interested. Actually, back in time, this item made me a couple of billions. Actually, I think I earned about 10 billions in total at this item, just station trading it. So first of all, it's traded in Jita. Actually, I'm still selling. You see, I used to sell it for 38 billions, and trust me, I was selling this item for 38 billions. Yeah, nice item to trade. Nice item to trade. Why? It's 10% margin. It already accounts for the fact that we are paying fees in Jita, so it's 10% margin. It trades not so perfectly equivalent from day to day, but it roughly trades 200 items a day on average. With a price of 27 millions, okay, it fluctuates, but let's say 25 millions for the sake of maths, and average of 200 items, we would be dealing with 5 billions market per day? Yeah, I think so. If I was trading this item, it would bring me 150 millions. It's a solid item. The only disadvantage is that it has price fluctuation, but my methodology of actually semi-automated trading allows me to realize profits very fast. So for me, it really doesn't matter most of the time if the price fluctuates or not, because usually I will buy the market and sell the market within the same day or two, and it's likely that the price change effect doesn't affect me. And again, just watch the other guide I made to give you a better idea. So I would trade this item right now. Doesn't matter if I was in Jita or Perimeter, I would still trade this item. It's some nice cash. Alright, this item, apparently I'm still trading it. I have ordered it for 17.4 millions back in time. Alright, still didn't hit and bought all of them. It was about a month, so you can guess that it's actually a competitive market by just looking at that. And by looking at the expiry dates, I can tell... Oh no, sorry, I have updated this order. Yeah, I have updated this order when I was actually making the guide. So this is kind of fresh number. Let's don't go into the competitiveness of the market. It's not even so competitive actually. All right, we've got 15% margin, which is great margin. It's already starting to be good margin. We've got average volume of what, 70? A bit of spike here and there, but generally saying even 80 items a day, 20 millions, 1.6 billion market volume. So 1.6 market volume means that as a multi-billionaire, I wouldn't be interested trading this item because of the one simple reason. This is probably too small market for me. I would need to trade 50 markets like that to make profits I desire per day, in not in marginal equivalent, but in terms of like total volume of cash I'm making, because remember, I'm aiming for about 3 billions a day, which is an average number. It usually like between 1.5 and 4, sometimes 5 billions a day. So, right, this item is a good item for someone with capital of about 10 billions, maybe even 20 billions. It's a nice item to trade anyways. It gives you this spare cash. I think this market, those are details which you get to know once you go into station trading. But regarding this particular product, I think the only disadvantage is usually, let me just double check. Yes, it's usually that it's average quantity of 2 items per order. So if we go into beta detail, apologies for my conversation mistakes. If we go into a bit of deeper detail, better detail, we want to trade items with as high order number as possible, ideally close to quantity number. Why is that? Because usually you are competing with orders 2 items, 3 items, 2 items, 2 items, 2, and so on. And sometimes there are large orders like this one, or like mine for 60 products. The reality is that the more orders, the likely you are going to sell or buy your item. The more orders are going, the more likely you are going to realize your order. That's simple fact. And of course, it means that usually people who buy the item, right now if I click just buy this item, normally people buy one piece. It means that people who sell the item, like if I were to sell this item right now and have it in my cargo, I probably actually do, it means that I would sell them in bulk. So this is kind of this type of item. Somehow players apparently receive it or manufacture, I'm not sure, but they sell them in bulk. Not all of the items are sold in bulk, by the way. Far not many items. Okay, this item, bad margin. This item, good margin. Volume of the market, 20 items per day. Market is somehow competitive, by the way. Yes, market is actually quite competitive, but if you manage to stay on top of other orders, and that's a separate topic of separate guide, you probably would still be interested. Again, like we have covered the maths. Let's just become a bit less boring. We will skip now the maths. If you have got more questions, ask me on streams. But right now we will start skipping the maths, and I will give you just a quick judgment whether I would trade this item myself or not. So this item I would probably trade. It wouldn't be my core item to trade. This item, huge margin. You know, if I were a new player and I wanted to make my first capital, I would trade this item. It's not the item which I would trade right now because it's extremely small market, small market, just couple of items, and actually it's extremely competitive. But if I had time, like if I wasn't in rush to make my capital, if I was just testing how it works, I'd probably try to trade this item, though be mindful that price, I believe, yeah, it must be fluctuating a lot. So as a new player, I would take a risk and trade it. Just one item. Alright, this looks attractive, but it's not so stable. Plus, price was actually fluctuating in the past. Again, a bit of risky investment, but maybe interesting. I'm still trading this item. Alright, a technique which I'm going to explain you, which I do sometimes. If I see that there is attractive market, and definitely this is extremely attractive market for me, a guy with 50 billions in capital is interested in this market because its average volume per day is at least 10 billions. Like this time it was actually having a volume of 30 billions, 75 billions, someone probably bought or sold them all. But generally speaking, extremely good market. What would I do if I was trading this item right now? Actually, I would do it if I was just doing station trading right now. I would buy those 3 items. I would literally buy those 3 items. It wouldn't make me much of a loss because when you buy things, you don't pay tax. And when you sell, you can actually like sell them, yes, at a little bit less of a profit, but I would put my order on top. So I would actually decrease the average price of the market in order to start buying items for 720 millions. And then probably I would use other techniques like bring the price back with just 1 item or things like that. But generally I would buy 3 items and then I would put my order on top and ensure that they stay on top. That if few more people sell the item, I would actually make per item several hundred millions. Which is an interesting way of trading. I don't like just trading because it's automated for me. I like interesting methods of trading. This is not great item to trade for me. I used to trade this item a lot. Yeah. I'm still somehow trading this item. It's been there for a long time. I don't know why I did so. Maybe it was... Back in time, maybe it was interesting. Okay. This item, again, it's a good item to trade for someone with lower capital. Probably with capital of 5-10 billions, I would trade this item. Just couple, 2-3 items, I would put a buy order and try to sell them. Yeah. Not a great item to trade. We will stop pressing those margin calculator thing because sometimes it's clear what the margin is. Alright. This is an interesting item. If you are willing to take a bit of risks, this is possibly a good item for risky trades. In station trading, you're rarely going to make a loss, but this item can make you a bit of loss if you are not careful. All in all, sometimes you can just cancel your order. If you don't feel it's going this way, you just cancel your order and the only cost to you is 2.5% on the fees. And you'd be like, whoa, 2.5% is a lot of money. That's why it's better to trade from perimeter where it's 0.01%, I believe, or 0.1%, doesn't matter even. Like where actually the price of an error is so low that you can take all the risky trades and then if you don't feel they're going your way, just cancel them. That's another methodology of a bit more advanced trading. Just go to the market with low tax and take those risks and then cancel those risks. Very simple. Actually, this item, yeah, I remember it was somehow big turnover item. If it was having just a bit higher margin, I would trade it from perimeter. It would be an item which brings me like probably $500 million a day, so I would probably trade it. Not interested, no, well, strictly speaking. Oh no, okay, it's actually larger market. So, then I thought initially, when skipping it, this item, yes, I would trade. It wouldn't be my core item to trade, but still interesting. Okay, Eagle. Trading ships is, from my experience, not the greatest thing. Earned several billions on this item back in time when price was fluctuating. Yeah, doesn't matter. Alright, earned many billions on this item. Huge market. very risky, very risky. But if you manage to manipulate your fees, if you trade it from perimeter, you place the orders and cancel if the price goes too high up. Just don't follow the market blindly, stupidly all the time. Sometimes with highest profit items, it's even more interesting to trade the way that you just, compete with other players. Because eventually it's PvP, at least during the stage of choosing the product. Bear in mind, everyone who is going to watch this guide is going to see the same recommendation I give. So the core will be to have a look of how I choose those items from database, because this is going to be the best part how you can outplay other players. Alright, I think we are actually getting the idea, and we've been already recording for a while. So let's say that I gave you enough of the understanding of what people with different types of capital, different situations, playstyle will trade. Let's consider this topic closed. If not, there are my streams, ask me on streams. Alright? Thank you very much for watching this part, and in a couple of seconds we come back to show how to use the database from Evenline, how to choose those products. Finally, we came back to the topic of how I would choose the product given that I have database. And I have sort of anonymized the database where I got the information from, because there are several and I just don't want to advertise. But if you Google, you'll find different databases from the game which allow you to download item with its highest buy, lowest sell, with a quantity per day. And actually that's the only things we need. I mean, there are other factors which are counted to whether you want to trade this product today or tomorrow. But if you want to say, I want to know what is the profitable item to trade, that's the only thing you need. Because as you remember in game, that's the only thing we were interested in. For the Plex, for example, we were interested in how large is the market, and we can get this information from here. We were interested in profit margin, and we can get this information, and so on, so on. So let me go step by step and open you a margin. Margin is basically profit difference between sale and buy divided by the sale price. Margin can never be more than 100%, by the way, mathematically, because that's how maths work. So anyways, people are always concerned, margin, profit margin, those kind of questions for people who never studied economy. Look, don't worry. It doesn't matter whether you actually calculated margin or whether you are calculating like profit for the item in percentage wise or in total volume. I will explain you those things. There is not much of a difference, because generally speaking, products who are good for trading will be good for trading. That's it. So we calculated margin, and just so you are confident in what I've been just saying, I also calculated profit, because profit is calculated on your investment in your buy price, and profit can be more than 100%. If you bought an item for 100 ISK and you sold it for 1000, your profit is huge percentage wise, but margin wouldn't be more than 100% anyways. It would be like 90 something. So first thing we do, we are going to cut data straight away. We are going to cut data straight away for, we need at least of, I would say 8%, or in this case 0.08, because it's, sorry, mistyping. We need profit of at least, margin of at least 8%, because that's somewhere where we are getting to be interested in the market. And in case we are not multi-trillionaires or multi-billionaires who are actually making profits on smaller margins, I don't like this type of trading, so I usually put myself 8%. And we also not interested in markets which give you more than 70% margin, it's because those markets are generally kind of random markets which are not actually really for trading. They're there like for other reasons why this math doesn't work. Outliers called. And as you can see, profit is not much difference of a margin unless we go to higher numbers. So really don't worry if you calculated by accident margin or profit. For what we need, mathematically, it's not a big difference. Then we need to calculate our volume. There are different methods of calculating volume. Like you would probably want an average price, which is, there are different methodology of calculating averages, but really, to give you an idea, you can multiply sell price by the quantity, you can multiply buy price by the quantity. More or less in your top you will get same products. In the website which I've been developing and will make live sooner or later, I have several plans of how I'm going to tackle this and how I'm going to show. But if you're new to station trading, look, just get an idea. Don't try to get the exact correct formula. It's not going to make you super rich and then the other methodology is going to make you poor. That's not how it works. Don't worry if you don't know the right methodology, because there is no exactly right methodology. For different items, there are other factors which are not possible to get into the table, which are going to affect how profitable this item is going to be. Which means that mathematics behind the table should give you 80% directional answer to what trade, rather than actually give you like 100% correct answer and oh my god, we have to follow very precise formulas. No, don't worry about it. Alright, daily volume. And last thing, but not the least, is actually the most important thing. It's a multiplication of daily volume by margin, or doesn't matter, daily volume by profit. And I'm pretty sure there is actually an economical term for that. But I will explain you why we need this strange figure. And we need it because we want not just to understand daily volume, but actually it gives us a potential of the market. If you think about it, we've got market, huge market, with such a low potential profit margin that even if we trade 100% of that, we are still going to make less money than on a small market with larger margin. So this accounts for the factor of the margin and basically allows you to compare markets so that you actually compare markets with high profit and low profit margins. And therefore you actually are going to make some money. So we put a filter on margin. Then buy price. I normally don't trade products with buy price of less than $1 million. It just happens to be that I noticed I like this way. I also don't trade products which are traded less than probably 7 items a day. 7 items a day, because I wouldn't want to trade markets which are rotating slowly. Maybe I would trade items which trades 5-7 items a day if this item worth several billions. Yeah, because just making one sale, one purchase and one sale there would make me $500 million probably. Yes, I would trade it. But other than that, you can apply your filter, but that's my filter. And then we are going to sort it from largest to smallest by the multiplication of daily volume multiplied by profit margin. So let's figure out what's going to happen right now. And I'm telling you straight away, we're not going to get right now a perfect answer, because again, it depends from database of which data is available there, but there are several factors which you also should consider. First of all, it gives you quantity for the previous day, and it may be a day when this item was traded and actually it was never traded before, and it's going to give you great figures. No, this item doesn't mean you need to trade it, because you ideally need to look over the period of a week roughly and look at the average volume per day. So this kind of averages things out and by using just yesterday's quantity, it's not going to get us perfect result. Then we are understanding that markets with extremely high activity are going to have higher margin, even though those markets are not profitable to trade. How is it possible? Because it gives you the highest buy and the lowest sell for the day, which means that if there were like 5 items buying for 100 ISK and orders, and 5 orders selling for the 110 ISK, and then the next sell order would be 150 ISK or 200 ISK, which is a huge gap. And if suddenly someone has bought those items for 110 ISK, all of the 5 orders, then it would actually give you huge margin here, and it's not necessarily going to be a good product to trade, because no one is going to buy this item anymore for 200 ISK. It just happens to be that it was kind of market discrepancy. So don't consider it to be perfect guidance, but let's have a look of what we get. Actually, I can't remember those items. I do even think things changed a lot in the past. So let's have a look. Capital Industrial Ships. That's the item I actually had in my quick bar. We've discussed how I would trade it. Feel free to watch this video from the beginning if you actually were skipping parts. Elidron AI, I actually think know this market, yeah. Yes, this is an example of a market which I was giving you when actually higher margin doesn't represent that you will earn those money, because as you can see, it normally is not traded for high profit margin. No, it's not. It's just that it's probably actively traded. That's why it's on top. But you see where we are going. We are going there, and sooner or later we will find our products. And it's not so difficult, neither hard, because you already have just a list and you go through the list. You don't search it anywhere in game, you don't try to think of it or invent it. And okay, this is another example of an item which is outlier, because it was like sold in a high quality just for one day. But it's still an item which is pretty good for trade, yeah. Great item to trade. I mean, if you are going to rotate all of the volume of the market in one day, that's a great item to trade. Can bring you billions. Amazing item to trade, again, can make you billions. Again, very good item to trade. I mean, list of the products have changed significantly in 1 month time. So many new items which are on top of the list. Item which not going to make you billions because it was an outlier. Oh, of course, very famous item. Sorry. Of course, very famous item. If you manage to stay competitive on the market and if you have got huge capital to trade, this is good item to trade. If you expect low return, if you trade from perimeter, and if you want to rotate your capital, that's an item you do. And last one, let's have a look at the last one. 10%, yeah, good item to trade as well. As you can see, we directionally, straight away, just spending 5-10 minutes, looking at the data, it's the most basic data you can get. Every database which is downloadable from the game gives you these details. That's the core details for trading. There are other factors, how many orders, like there are other factors, average not for the day but for the week, and so on. I've been talking about that, but all in all, by just having the minimum amount of data and by understanding the principles of trading, which I've been talking about in my main video or in here for a long time, by understanding that, we are definitely going to make profits. And whatever is rest, account for your capital, account for your methodology of trading, account for many other things which are game related, and after that, just become a successful station trader. That's it for the detailed explanation of station trading. I hope you understand how this works. Just as a short tip of, I think, yes. So basically, as you can see, I've been trading this item back in time, actually quite actively. Just so you understand, by using this tool, you can update your orders really fast. It's actually the same item, but I'm just giving you the idea. When you sell or buy an item, you can put a setting to automatically copy your price. So actually I'm going to decrease my sale for 1 billion. But that's what happens if you don't trade for a month. Prices change a lot. And usually I trade an item within a day or two. So my curve of trading is so short that I'm not affected by that. If I was trading this item actively during this month, I mean, if I was trading at all, definitely I wouldn't be making this loss. I don't even consider it to be a loss because I don't worry about money. I don't need them in game. I use them for streaming anyways. So no hard feelings here. But here we go. That's the idea. Please watch the main guide. The main guide gives you a perspective of the trading, station trading in a wider understanding. It's the main one. Those were just details for you. Any questions, ask me on stream, ask me in comments, and please like and subscribe, or follow my Twitch, anything like that. Streamers and YouTubers always say those things, so I do as well. Using best practice solutions. Okay guys, thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.